A man living in the city of Ha'il, Saudi Arabia, came up with a really good idea to feed needy people. And his purpose was, I want to feed them without making them feel shame. He wanted the beggars to not have to feel like they're lesser human beings or they're some sort of pariahs. So what he did is he installed a refrigerator on the street in front of his house and invited all of his neighbors to donate their extra food so that the hungry people could just come and take a look and grab something and eat it. That's it. Simple idea. And this story is now running on a few different websites. It blew up on Twitter, and everybody was saying, what a great idea. I can't believe nobody ever thought of that before. So I was thinking about it, and two things hit me. Number one, I think Gallup or Pew Research or any other polling organization should do a national poll about this specifically and ask people if they like the idea or if they don't like the idea. And I bet you they absolutely love the idea. And if they do love it, then the second thing, I think Congress should pass a bill that puts one of these charity fridges at all these different federal government buildings across the country. Of course, you can make it dependent upon the weather or whatever. You don't have to do it one specific way, and that's the end of the debate. That's the end of the conversation. Or you know what? You could do it at a state level or a local level or whatever the case is. But it seems to me like this would be a great way to attack the issue of hunger and food insecurity in America. And you could do it multiple ways. So one way you could do it is, on the federal level, pass the bill, have it fully funded by tax dollars, and that's it. And wouldn't even be all that expensive, if you really think about it. Just pick out a few government buildings around the U.S., like 2 or 3 in each state or something like that, in very populated areas. Or you could do it at the state level, fund it through state taxes, or at the local level, you could fund it through local taxes. Or you don't even need to do that. You could just say, you could just pass a bill that says, we will pay for the refrigerator itself. The government will pay for the refrigerator itself, and then the community can just come and put their stuff in there, just free, extra food, just put it in there. Or you could, talk to local businesses and say, whenever you have extra food, like I'm sure you've seen it, I've seen it, Dunkin' Donuts at the end of the day has some donuts. Not really, they're not bad. Maybe they're a little stale or whatever because they've been sitting on the shelf all day, but fuck, people definitely eat that. I'd eat that. So you can make deals with all those places and have them for just, pennies on the dollar, you can fund it and then they could drop the food off there. There's so many smart, easy, simple ways that we can get this accomplished and that we could actually feed people. And understand, food insecurity in the United States of America is a big deal. Like, it's a big problem. People oftentimes, they get, kind of lazy in their thinking, and they don't realize that, well, look, I might have it good, or some people I know might have it good, but there's so many people who rely on food stamps, who struggle to feed their kids, struggle to feed themselves. They have, it's hard to keep up with everything, and this is a great way to attack it. But here's the depressing part of the story. There's no chance. I'm dating myself if I think there's any chance of something this good going into place in America. Because we've done stories recently coming out of, I think one of the Carolinas was one of them, and in other places too, where there are churches that do charity, which is great on them, and they always meet in a park like once a week or once every month or something like that, and they just feed the homeless. They have this big thing, all the homeless people come, they feed them, and it's actually like a nice little get-together, right? And what happens is you have the local governments and the state governments trying to force the churches out of doing the charity and feeding people. Now, why would they do that? They do that because, get this, if you have an area where homeless people always come around every once in a while, they're afraid that it's going to drop the property values of the nearby neighborhoods. Amazing. How much we don't care about human beings, but you care about property. And these are all people, by the way, usually red states. All the stories that we've done so far on this, red states. So people who consider themselves Christians, like, no, we're now going to mandate that the church pays a $500 or $1,000 fine, which they can't afford, to get a permit so that they could then feed them there, and still we're going to limit the amount of time they could do it then. It's so gross, man. And we would find, objections to this all around all around the U.S. if we tried to pass something like this. Oh, don't put the refrigerators outside because then you don't want homeless people wandering around the area, do you? You don't want them to affect the property value of the rich people, do you? No, they got to stay. They got to know their place. They got to go away. They got to go into the other communities. We don't want them here.